Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about something from my last year of school. When the emo girl left our class, it didn't took that long until another girl joined our class. In the classroom, she sat on the same table that the emo girl was sitting on. At that time, we still had all these idiots in our class. And of course, they bullied her. Inside the classroom, often enough they talked shit and insulted her, threw stuff at her, and when she talked back, they talked even more shit. And often enough she cried, and also left the classroom. During metal class, there was way less bullying going on. And there it was mostly only stupid talking. During wood class, it was very mixed. She sat in the middle of the room, and all the idiots sat behind her and on the left. Many times when the teacher left the room, they focused on her. And when our teacher came back, they pretended as if nothing happened. Because she was the smallest in our class, depending on what we did during sport, it didn't work that great. But because of reasons, she often didn't participate in sport. The breaks were also really mixed. Sometimes they talked shit, but it happened that they had a nice talk. In the beginning, I didn't have much contact with her, but something that we had in common was smoking. During the breaks, it happened that she walked to me and asked if I can give her a cigarette. But because I always counted my cigarettes, I only had enough for me. I also did that on purpose because when someone asked me, I showed them how many I have, and when they saw that I only have 3 left, they said it's okay and that they will ask someone else. But of course I also gave some cigarettes away. When she walked to me during the break and asked, I said that I don't have many, and she understood it. We both knew how it is when you feel like smoking, but you don't have any, and you know that it will still take a bit until you are home. So instead, she asked if we can share one. I asked if she is sure about it, because it can happen that the filter gets slightly wet, and many don't like it. When the other person makes the filter wet, as long as it's not too wet, it's not really a problem for me. And she said it's the same for her. We both also counted each other as clean. And then we shared a cigarette. Sharing a cigarette with her was also great because when others walked to us and asked, they saw it and said, "Oh, you also don't have enough. Okay, it's fine. We will ask somewhere else." During the breaks, we talked and also joked. It was great. She also talked about how stupid these idiots are, and I agreed. Often during the breaks, I chilled with a friend from our class, and often enough we chilled in a group, and we had a lot of fun. But after the breaks, when we waited in front of the classroom, the bullying often continued. It also happened that someone simply picked her up and walked around with her, but this was not always bad. A few times she also left and nothing bad happened. But mostly when someone picked her up, she said that he should stop and try to escape. Of course he ignored it, and when she punched him, it happened that he punched back. There it also happened that she cried. During wood class, I always sat on the right side with my friend. She sat in the middle, and the idiots were behind her and on her left. It happened that our teacher was in another room, and the idiots bullied her. Often enough our teacher heard it, and when he came back, he said that they should stop, or they will get in trouble. But then they said that it's her fault, and this led to even more stupid talking. A few times our teacher said that she should sit with me and my friend, so that she sits further away from these idiots, and this was great. But on one day during wood class, and this was so stupid and funny, she sat in the middle, and when they bullied her, she talked back, and everyone got really loud. But our teacher heard it, and when he came back from the other room, he yelled really loud at the boys, and threw all of them outside. And when they all left the room, he turned around and started to laugh, and then he whispered that this really scared them. We all left for a bit, and then he said that he needs to finish it, and walked outside. A few times it happened that she got bullied so hard that she left the room, and when our teacher noticed it, he talked with her, and when he came back, he asked us about what happened. Of course the idiots lied, but 3 of us always told the truth. The idiots talked shit to us, but our teacher believed us. A few times it happened that she left the room, and shortly after our teacher asked me and my friend where she is. We said that she left the room because of the shit, and a few times he told us to go to her, and that it's fine if we stay outside until the break. On a different day while our teacher was in the other room, she got bullied really hard and left the room, and shortly after, our teacher asked us about it, and we explained it, and then our teacher said that he saw a lot in all his years as a teacher. But what's happening here in our class is the peak. He saw many bad things, but nothing like this. I said that similar and also worse stuff happened on my other schools, and he was impressed. My friend said that his other classes were also mostly shit. And after some talking, I continued my work. But our teacher was still standing there. When I looked at him, he had a grin on his face and said, "Come on, go." At that time, he already knew me good enough from all the talks that we had, and it felt like as if he knew that I wanted to go and look for her. I said okay and walked outside, and I saw her sitting on the floor at the end of the hallway, and when I saw her face, it was very visible that she cried. I said that he wants me to look for you, but we don't need to go inside, so we can simply chill. And then we chilled and talked until the next break. On a different day, she didn't come to school. But during wood class, our teacher talked with me and my friend about her. He said that he wants her to always sit next to us, not just because of the idiots, but every time she sat next to us, he saw that she left, and that's great. And then she always sat next to us during wood class, and we had a lot of fun. One bad thing that still happened for a while was, my friend always sat in front of me, and she sat next to me on the right, and behind me was all the stuff like saws and hammers and so. Often enough, our classmates walked past us to take a saw or so, but one of the idiots always pushed her away and told her to get out of his way, and when she talked back, either he pushed her again or punched her. A few times he pushed her down against our seats, and we had seats like these here. Maybe you know how hard it can hurt. Often he also pushed her against the closet or cabinet, you know, the thing behind us with all the tools inside. But a few times he also pushed her against me, and it happened that we both fell down. Our teacher saw it a few times, and at some point this idiot stopped, but he still talked the typical shit. A few times it happened that we 3 simply left the room and chilled in the hallway, and when our teacher walked to us, we said that we can't work with these idiots. A few times he allowed us to stay outside for a while, but a few times he said we should go inside again, and we said that we don't want to, because of these idiots. At some point during this talk, he said that he can't do much, because idiots like these will keep doing it, and we said that this is the problem. Something needs to happen, and our teacher said that he already played the yelling card and left about it again. After some more talking, he said that he will stay inside the classroom and we all walked back inside, but a few times we simply stayed outside. Over time, more and more idiots left our class because they switched to a different school. On one day, we three sat together and our wood teacher walked to us, smiled and said, "It's so nice now that most idiots are gone. A few idiots are still here, but it's so much better." And we agreed. Here and there during class, it happened that she asked our teacher if she can buy herself something to drink because she felt bad, and our class teacher allowed her to go every time she felt bad. But a few times she didn't come back, and a few times he wanted me to look for her. The first time I found her was near the coffee machine. She sat on the floor and her face was really white. I said that our teacher sent me, and she said that she felt really bad, and this is why she wants to buy something, to get some sugar. I said that we can chill, because our teacher will believe me anyway, and if he would see you like this, with your white face, he would also say that you can stay outside. And then we chilled until the next break. The more often she didn't come back, and another big reason was to simply chill, the more annoyed our teacher got, and at some point, she wasn't allowed to walk to the machine anymore. He said that she should have a cola or so in her bag, in case she feels bad. Because of my problems with my right arm, I often went to my doctor, and she gave me a note from my teachers that allowed me to not participate during sport, metal and wood class. My sport teacher didn't care about it, but my other two teachers said it's fine. I should do what I can, and when it hurts too much, I can do a break. She also had a note from her doctor, but our friend didn't. But he also didn't want her to do sport. For the rest of the year, we three didn't participate in sport anymore. The first few times, our teacher wanted us to sit on the bench, but then he sent us to the assembly room because if we don't participate in sport, we don't need to be there. And this was one of the best things that happened. Chilling in the assembly hall was great. We talked, we joked, we had so much fun. Every time we chilled, she talked so much. I can also talk like a waterfall, but she talked so much more than I did. She also talked about everything with us, even private stuff. And one big reason was that we didn't talk bad about the stuff, like all these idiots. Our jokes were also not insulting, and it was something she really liked. On one of the first days that we chilled there, we talked and left, and at some point, our sport teacher came to see if we are there. And he got really angry. He yelled at us and said that this should be a punishment. We shouldn't chill and laugh, but we didn't care. We also didn't have anything else to do, so of course we simply chilled and left. I still remember that we chilled in the assembly hall, our friend was on his phone, and she talked about her boyfriend and the idiots. She said that they always talk so bad about girls, and at some point she said the word tits. Then our friend moved up and said, "Did someone say tits?" And then he looked around to find some. This was so stupid and we laughed so hard. And she said that she can talk and joke with us, and there's nothing bad going on. She was also on the smaller side, and many of the idiots insulted her because of it. But she can talk with us about everything, and we are not insulting, and this was the great thing between us. A few times when she talked about really private stuff, she also started to cry. She also said that she doesn't feel bad when she talked about it. Instead, she feels good because she has someone to talk to about it. She also said that she can talk about the stuff with her boyfriend because he isn't interested in the stuff. And every time she talked with us about this and that, she looked really happy. Many times in this year, I saw her chilling with the boys, and often her boyfriend was also there. Mostly it looked more sad, mainly because it looked like as if she isn't standing with them, but next to them. Often when she tried to talk with them, they completely ignored her, and sometimes she walked to me and my friend then. Many times I heard the idiots talking bad about her, and often her boyfriend was also there, and agreed, and also left about her. She was also interested in cars and bikes, and had a lot of knowledge about the stuff. Sometimes it happened that the boys talked about cars, and then she got really interested, and wanted to talk too. And a few times, they said something wrong, and she corrected them. But every time this happened, they said that she is wrong, and doesn't know anything. Even her boyfriend pushed her away then. But a few times, they googled it, and when they saw that what she said was correct, they still ignored her. Because I couldn't do much during metal class, my teacher said, because I'm doing less physical work, I can do more theory work, and I liked the idea. In the beginning I simply sat in the classroom and did my work, and at some point she also often sat there, and we talked more and left. On one day, my teacher talked with me inside the classroom, and he noticed that many of my classmates often walk into the classroom, and that I can hear all the loud sounds from the work area. He said that I can sit inside a different room, and there it's quiet. I said sure and followed him. He opened the door, and I walked inside. And yes, this room was really quiet, and then I always did the theory stuff there. On one day when I did my work there, the door opened, and my teacher walked inside with her, and he said that we can work together here. Our teacher closed the door and walked away, and then she said that she wondered where I am doing a metal class, and I said that I'm here because you hear nothing in this room. She sat down next to me, and while we did our work, we talked and left a lot. When we finished everything, I wanted to show it to our teacher, and she asked me why. We can simply chill here, and I said, if we show it to him, he sees that we are really working. We also get more work, but this means we can chill here for way longer. This plan worked out really great. Work for 10 minutes, chill for nearly an hour, show it to him, work for 10 minutes, and chill again. It was great. Every time we chilled inside this room, we talked and left a lot. After a few days, we looked around in this room. It was basically a storage room. There were many different packages, but we couldn't find anything interesting. On a different day, she noticed the little windows right under the ceiling, and she wanted to look outside, but the windows were so high that standing on the table wasn't enough. I said that she can stand on my shoulders, and that's what we did. I had her on my shoulders, and she looked outside, but she couldn't see much because of the trees. Already on one of the first days in this room, she kicked her shoes off and laid her legs on the table. Once our teacher walked inside and saw it, and he really didn't like it. But many times in this room, she still kicked her shoes off, and instead of laying her legs on the table, she laid them on a little chair that was under the table. Even in this room, it happened that she cried when she talked about specific things, and the only thing I was able to do besides talking was giving her a tissue to wipe her tears away. On a different day, we looked around in the room again, and at some point, she was standing on a table table, and when I walked around there, she jumped on my back and didn't want to let go. I moved around and also jumped, and she laughed really hard while shaking up and down and from left to right on my back. At some point when we did our work, she laid her legs on my legs, but I didn't really react to it. I was simply too used to it. Already on my first school, many girls did that, and many also sat on my lap. At some point, she asked me if I noticed it, and I said yeah, and talked with her about it. And then she said that she can understand it because it's really comfortable. And then she asked me if she can keep her legs like this, and I said sure. Once our teacher saw us sitting really close like that, and he said that he doesn't want to see something like this. He also said that if he ever catches us fucking, then we will get into real trouble. And then he left the room. We looked at each other and had to laugh. Often enough our teachers talk like that, but we both didn't expect him to say something like this to us. And then she joked about, because we hear nothing from the other side, if we would do it, no one would know about it. And I agreed. On a different day, she also had her legs on my legs, and at some point she moved her feet up and joked about stinky feet and so. I said that she is lucky that she doesn't have cheese feet, and she asked what I would do then, and I said that I could tickle her, and she said that she isn't ticklish. On a different day, she also jokingly asked if I can massage her feet, but I said no, I can't massage feet. I'm more into massaging other spots, like shoulders, your back, your hands, and your belly and so. But on a different day, we finished our work and chilled, and she had her legs on my legs, and because I had nothing else to do with my hands, I simply rubbed her lower legs, between her knees and ankles, and she enjoyed it. On a different day, we looked around in the room again, and then she saw something behind the table. She leaned forwards over the table and tried to grab it, but I took the chance to tickle her, and it worked. I said that she's ticklish, but she said no. Then I asked if I should do it again, and she said no with this grin on her face. On a different day, we wanted to leave the room because it was break time, but the door was locked. We were unsure what to do because we also wanted to smoke, but we simply did nothing and kept chilling. Later our teacher wanted to open the door, but he couldn't. Then he unlocked the door and said that he accidentally trapped us inside, and we said yeah, we noticed it. We couldn't go outside for the break, and then he allowed us to go outside for a few minutes. A few times our classmates saw us walking outside of this room. They also looked inside and said that this room is great because it's so quiet. But it didn't took that long until they joked about us, that we are in this room so often and no one knows what we are doing inside and so. You can guess what I mean here. They also talked about us with her boyfriend, and he really didn't like it. After the break, when we all chilled in the hallway, her boyfriend came and told me to keep my hands off of her, and I said that nothing is happening and that we are doing the paperwork in this room. And if you don't believe me, ask her. She's your girlfriend. So she's honest with you. He was really angry, but after talking more useless shit, he walked away, and she said that she will talk about it with him later. On a different day in the hallway, she was standing with me and our friend and we talked and joked. And then her boyfriend came to us again, pushed me against the wall and talked more shit to me. She tried to pull him away and said that nothing is going on between us, but he was swinging his arm to push her away. And while doing it, he also punched her. She said ouch and punched back, but he completely ignored her and threatened me. I said that she's standing right there, so talk with her, but he ignored it. And when I said that he punched her, he said that she's his girl and he can do what he wants. The other idiots really wanted him to fight me and talk more shit, but after more stupid talking, he walked to his classroom. She said that she will talk with him about it again later. There was more stupid talking from the idiots for a while, but at some point her boyfriend stopped annoying me, but he also never said sorry or so. During the breaks, she still chilled with me and our friend, and we also still shared a cigarette here and there. And her boyfriend also saw it, but he completely ignored me. Over time, more and more idiots left our class because they switched to a different school, and the less idiots we had, the better it was. There was less shit going on, and she looked way happier. I never did anything after school or so with her or anyone else from the school, and after we finished school, we didn't have any contact anymore. But after school, I had to go to one of those places where they should help me finding an apprenticeship or a job. This place was shit, but once we drove to a specific event where you can find many different people from different jobs. When I chilled outside, a bus arrived, and it looked like a school class. I continued chilling, and at some point someone called me. I turned around and saw my wood teacher with a really happy smile on his face. I said hey, and he walked to me. He asked me what I'm doing here, and I explained it to him. And then he said, oh, no job yet? I bet you will find a great job for you. After some talking, he pulled me with him to his class and said, everyone listen, this is one of my best students, Pushy. He wasn't the best doing class, but he was the best outside of class, and I want you all to be like him. He should be your role model. Everyone looked at me and I was really unsure what to say. I expected him to ask something or that he will talk more, but nothing happened, and I felt really bad. But then he said that I can go back to my group now, and we said bye. I walked a few meters away and smoked, and then I saw that he talked with someone else and pointed at me. He had a smile on his face, and when he talked there, he looked really happy, and since he pointed at me, I wondered what he talked about. At some point, they kicked me out of this place, but at the end of 2016, I had to go to another place, and this place was also shit. But on one day in the morning, when I walked to this shit place, I saw someone walking in front of me. When we arrived at this shit place, she stopped and turned around, and then I saw that it's her again. When she saw me, she rolled her eyes and said it's obvious that I ended up in a place like this. Then she told me that she has to go there, which also meant that we had to go there together. We still talked and left here and there, and also still shared cigarettes. She also told me that she isn't together with her boyfriend anymore. She also talked with other people there, and some of them said to me that she's talking so much, and I agreed. Then they asked me why I still talk with her because she's so annoying, and I said that I'm not annoyed by her. I can also talk a lot. At some point, they kicked me out of this shit place, and then I had to go to another one. And this place was also shit. On a different day, I met her at the train station, and she asked me about it. And I said that they kicked me out, and that I need to go to a different place now. And she said, wow, great. And sometime later, we never saw us again. Alright. I think I talked about all the big things when it comes to her. I would still say that, even though the emo girl wasn't that long at this school, that she had a way harder time, mainly because of all the physical stuff. But when I think about that she also cried many times because of the idiots, then I can't say that it was great or so. Of course there were also many moments where they talked normally with her, but mostly there was this useless shit going on, and it always wounded. This here's what we did during metal class. I cube on this thing here, but sadly it broke when we had to move. Normally it shouldn't spin freely like this. But when I look at it, then the memories from back then pop into my head. The good ones, and also the bad ones. But yeah, that's it for this video here. Have a good day.